All right. Greetings, everybody. Okay, I'm super excited to be here, and I really appreciate all of you being here with me today. I am going to go ahead and get my screen share set up. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to connect and make sure that we're all here before we get started. So let me make sure that all my technology is working properly at my end. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my screen here and give us all a few minutes to just make sure that everybody's in. Let's slide that on over there for a second. We'll put that up top. All right, really, really good to be here. My name is Raven. I am the owner of Anansi Web Design, and I have designed this webinar for you today to help everybody who is interested, inspired by, connected to, hoping for someday being able to have their own economic independence, somebody who would like to be an entrepreneur, people who have a vision inside and something that they want to kind of set free within them, or people who want to say F you to their boss, tired of it, don't want to do this with you anymore, can't stand it, and I'm done. This is for everybody who's kind of connected and ready to get going, but they're kind of not quite there, and you're not quite sure what it is that next step in order to go from having that vision inside of you to, or just having an idea that you would like to make more money somehow, but you just don't have enough hours in the week to do anymore, or people who would like to just live the entrepreneur lifestyle. So I'm going to go over with you guys just talking about what being an entrepreneur actually is, and you know what it involves, and some steps that are important things to pay attention to and to take care of before you step into your entrepreneur process. And then we'll go over a few things that are definitely some no-nos for being an entrepreneur. So if everybody's here, if you guys could all just kind of like give me your name, just write down your name in the room there, and say hello. Let's say hello to all of you. And hi there. Hey guys, hi. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Looks like everybody's in. And all right, so stepping into your vision. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background about me. So I've been a graphic designer for the last 8 years. And for just over a year, graphic design has been my only source of income. And well, actually, no, that's not true. I am also a priestess. I'm a high priestess of a temple, and so I do temple work. But temple work is more of community work, and that isn't something that specifically is, that's not for serving my economic needs. That's a spiritual vision for me. But as far as economically, I am a graphic designer. So I have been with no income from any external source than my own work for just over a year now, and I have been doing graphic design for the past 7 years before I got to this place where I am now. I have quite a few degrees and certifications. I have, one of those parents who, many of you may relate to this too, the kind of parents who felt like, the right way to live was for you to do really well in school and to go to college and then get a good job and then work at that job until you were old and then retire and then get your pension and then go about your merry life, rest of your life. And from very early on, I knew that that was not the road for me, because I have never, ever, the idea of sticking with just one chosen career and doing one thing and then doing that until I am exhausted and then clocking out and then going into retirement was not what I wanted my life to look like. So I've never liked working for other people. I'm definitely a team player, and I like working collectively with others, but I don't like working for others. And that wasn't really something that was good for me. So struggled with it for many years, struggled through the way that I was told that it had to be done, found out through hard knocks that wasn't for me. And then I started dabbling around and feeling out in life what kind of things look, well, what is for me then? So, okay, now that I had to make the mistake of figuring out what wasn't for me, what is for me? And so I'm a certified yoga teacher. I'm an EFT tapping master practitioner. I'm also a Reiki practitioner. I didn't mention it there. I am a life coach, a health coach, and I've been involved in healing arts for over 2 decades. That's been my passion. My entire life has been my passion to kind of awaken people to their own power, get people into their best state of health, emotional health, mental health, and spiritual health, and really help people become fulfilled, feel successful and fulfilled in themselves. I know what it feels like to be very down and dark and depressed and not fulfilled. And I also know what it feels like to be extremely successful and happy and joyful and really feel a sense of fulfillment with life. And I want that vision, that joy for other people. That's really important to me. So all the work that I do is always about some aspect of helping other people find their fulfillment and reach their power. So in this specific way, through my graphic design business, my vision is to serve other people, to help them step away from the system and help them to become independent economically. I want every person to succeed by fulfilling their own sense of purpose. We all have a purpose for why we came here, and that is for each of us to define. That's not for anyone outside of us to define. But a lot of people come here on Earth, and then we are living lives that are not in parallel with what it is that we feel. So we do work that has nothing to do with what we love about life. Sometimes those are two entirely separate things. And because we have to devote so much to work, to economics, many people often miss out entirely on the joy of what it feels like to actually own their life and to fulfill their vision of what it is they want to do. And whether you want to be a stay-at-home mom and raise your children and give them the best and the most love and the things that you didn't feel you had, or the things that you felt you had that you'd like to repeat, or whether that means you want to, build an expansive empire, a global network of something that serves all of humanity. Either way, a lot of people aren't working and fulfilling that vision. So for me, with Anansi Web Design, I have a background in business management, and I also have years of experience as an entrepreneur myself. And because of that, that allows me to serve my customers holistically. And so I don't just make graphics, I don't just design websites for them, I don't just make flyers for them. I'm also able to advise them in all the little ways and means of setting up a small business and in the startup process. So there are things like media psychology, where understanding what type of font or what sort of colors to use, because there are different websites and things like that out there today where people can go and pay somebody money and do a transaction and say, okay, I want a business card designed, or I need a logo designed, where whatever you give them is what they'll produce. And so without understanding the vision of your business, they may not understand, or also understanding who is your market, they may choose a color scheme that doesn't attract the kind of demographic that you're working with. They may use a font, because all of those things, all of the aesthetics of what we do are subconsciously drawing in people, making them feel connected to what it is that we are offering them. So without that subtle connection to that offering, a lot of times people will just shut down what it is that we have, or not feel connected or drawn to what it is we have. So having that competitive edge is the difference between whether a business will stay open or whether it will close. So those are the kind of things that I bring to the business because of my own background in that, because of being able to study that. I'm not just going to take a logo design idea that you have and then just like knock it out the way you said and then hand it back to you done. That is definitely getting the job done, but that's not getting the job done with all of that wisdom and understanding of exactly what it is and who it's meant to serve and reach. So for myself, I've opened and I have managed and I have run 7 different businesses over the past 12 years. And I've done more businesses in the past before that, but over the past 12 years, those are the main ones that I have. I have opened a religious organization. I have a temple, and learning how to differentiate between nonprofit, an LLC, or a corporation when you're founding your business are also vital steps. Those are important things to know. I've opened a raw food cafe, and so I also know about the process of paperwork and of getting, fire inspections and health and safety code inspections and things like that, and the process that's required to do that. So I have advice and information to share with people who are looking to do things like that also. Also, obviously, graphic design. And I had a bath and body products business making organic bath and body products quite some time ago. That was slightly before the market just exploded on that. and it was a little ahead of its time, and it was not, it was successful in a small area, but eventually I shut it down in order to focus my attention on other things because it wasn't doing well enough, fast enough at the time. But I am actually about to relaunch in the beginning of the year coming up in January, February. I will be launching my next line of Bath and Body products. And the same thing, organic, and that'll be a whole special thing itself. I'll talk about that another time. But yes, I've had that business. I also had a raw food delivery business. So we made and prepared raw foods in our commercial kitchen, and we did the delivery. We did some of it online and a lot of it by word of mouth, and that was an excellent business that I ran also. I've also had an online drop ship store, and drop shipping is a really excellent way for somebody who doesn't particularly have a vision or a specific purpose that they feel called to serve. But they do want to make more money. They want to make more money either for themselves or to be able to serve their families. That people want to just climb up over the top of being able to pay bills and actually be able to go on vacations and, buy nicer things than what they have, and just can't continue to trade time for money because there's only so many hours in a day and there's only so much energy that you have. So you can't continue to trade time for money. So a dropship business just requires us to do the right kind of research on the product we're looking to sell, set up something, and then be able to market that well so that people are able to reach that. So we don't even own the products. We don't have to own the products or purchase the products or purchase a place to store them. We can connect. We are the marketer, and we create an online presence. And through our online presence, we help connect people who produce the products with the people who want to purchase the products. And we put those people together. And so we get a percentage of that as our work. And so that percentage creates an income and can create an incredibly large livable income. There are some famous companies out there today that use that dropship model and method. So that's another thing to reach out to me. Definitely reach out to me about that. And the last thing too, and as I'm talking, I would just be curious for all of you to put in the comments, show of hands. Are any of you interested in running any of these specific type of businesses, or have you already started running any of these type of businesses, and what has been your experience so far? And if you could tell me any place where maybe you feel stuck and that you would like assistance to help your business to grow. And then the last thing that I've done is doing healing retreats and healing retreat services and things like that. So all of those different avenues, those are like a really broad spectrum of entrepreneurship. And so I have personal experience and to be able to tap into each of those areas to be able to help serve. Now, economic independence. So when we're actually going into what it is that we want to do. Like, why do you want to be an entrepreneur? For what? What does that look like for you? So for me, being an entrepreneur is about owning my own time. It's about being able to care for my family from home. And it's about being able to travel when I want. And those are the three most important things. There are other things too, but I like to wake up and go to bed when I say, not when my job says that I need to. And I don't want to be able to go on vacation for 2 weeks a year because I have to be back at work. I want to be able to travel when I want, to come and go as I please. And I also want to be there. I love being able to be home for my children so that when my daughter comes home from school, I can sit with her and talk about her day and silly things that happen to her at lunchtime. And I can connect with her and help her grow, and I can help her with her homework, and I can be here. Whereas before, when I was clocking in and working for other people, my schedule wasn't always aligning with the ability to be there for her. Sometimes she might need to to start dinner, or sometimes when she's sick and she has to stay home from school, I could be there with her for part of the day, or I'd have to be penalized by calling out of work and losing money, or I would be told straight out that I wasn't even allowed to go out to leave work. And that's incredible to me. The fact that while your child is sick, that somebody has the audacity to tell you you cannot be with your sick child, like, that's insane to me. I knew that there was no way that I could sustainably continue to do that with someone. So economic independence for me is all about that. I own my time. Under the current economic system, and this is what's a big deal to me, this is the bigger picture of why I do what I do. Under our current economic system, this system is designed for a few people to win, and then for the rest of us, for all of the masses, to just serve those few winners. It puts currency higher than humanity. It puts money first. And because of that, it forces us to focus on earning a living that doesn't always match up with what it is that we enjoy doing. So sometimes, somebody's a Walmart cashier and has to deal with snotty people all day long, dumping off their negative energy onto them. That's not that person might wish that they were a travel writer, or feel like, they want to be a chef, and they're not able to get out from the system where they are and then go and move into the new position of what it is they like. So everybody who is earning a living isn't always earning a living at what they would love to be doing with their lives. And one of the things that's a real passion for me is helping people match those two things up. I want people to match up what they love to do with their doing. So what do you do? When people ask, like, that's not a common question that people ask in other countries, but in the United States, that's a really common question. What do you do? And when people say, what do you do? They mean, what do you do for a living? What do you do to earn your money? It shouldn't be that. What you do to earn your money should be what you do to live. That should be your actual life, your passion, your life, your service to others. So it doesn't always match up. And because of that, that interferes a lot of times with family relationships, with personal relationships. There are people who can't get dates now, or because they're so busy working the amount of hours required to pay for their life, that they can't even have that life that they want to step into. It keeps communities divided because everybody's focused on competing for resources, especially in poorer communities. People are scrambling for what little there is, or worried about people coming from outside and taking their jobs, and our machines taking their jobs. When you're living your gift, there's nothing that can take your job. You are the job. That's you. It's what you create, what you produce from inside you. You're unique, and no thing can reproduce who and what you are and what you do. So getting started with being an entrepreneur, first thing, number one, self-assessment. And I would like to hear again some comments here. If everybody could just kind of put a comment as we go through these different questions. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. I won't put you all on blast, but I would like to hear how you all are. Are you the kind of person who can self-motivate? Or when you're tired, or you're not feeling inspired, or you don't want to get up, are you the kind of person who can just get up anyway, push on through, and go ahead and get done what needs to be done in order to make that business run or to keep it running? Are you the type of person who can put your vision ahead of other people's opinions? This one is really important because a lot of times our failure comes from the fear of what other people think of what we're doing. So when somebody tells us, oh my God, that's a ridiculous idea, you're never going to make that happen. You can't sell that. You can't do that. That's ridiculous. And we'll listen to what they're saying and value their opinion over our own vision. So sometimes we have to give birth to the vision for anyone to see it, no matter what. So before there were ultrasounds, if a woman was having a baby, that baby grows inside her. Nobody gets to see it until that baby is birthed. So that's just like that with your vision, your creation that you're making to serve the world with. Until you create it and birth it out and show it to the world, everybody's not going to be able to see it. And we have to be okay with that. We have to be okay with being misunderstood and not seen. So what about when things get tough? Are you the kind of person who's able to make sacrifices, or do you give up easily and then go back to where it's comfortable and safe? So when things get really hard, there may be times when your business is going so slowly and you swore to yourself and told everybody around you, you bragged about how you're never, ever going to be a wage slave ever again. You're never going to work for other people. You're off the plantation for good. And then your business is in a lull. It's in a slow season, and you have to go back and get a part-time job just to support your vision to continue. Are you able to do that? Or are you going to continue to push until your business wears all the way down into the ground, and then you're forced to go back into wage slavery or back to the plantation that you were just making fun of in order to start over again? So are you able to make those sacrifices when things are difficult? Are you able to put yourself aside? If you have employees, can you pay yourself last so that you don't let down your commitment to them as your employees? Are you able to learn quickly and be flexible when it's necessary? If your fantastic business idea, if something happens as you're building your vision, as you're birthing this into the world, is if something happens and shifts, if there's a shift in the trend, in the need for that product, if some new technology gets developed that makes the thing that you're creating useless, are you able to shift and recover from that? Are you that kind of person, or are you stuck on one setting? It has to be this or nothing. If any of those things are you, being an entrepreneur will either be a difficult or an impossible task. Those are things that we need to self-assess. So I would definitely like to hear in the comments what kind of things that you all feel, are your challenge areas for those. So, okay, moving on there. So before you get started, what are the factors that are important to get started on before you start? Most importantly, motivation. And again, this is like I said, the two different aspects of that motivation. Some people are motivated by that gift they have inside that they need to serve the world with, that's so powerful and so important to them. And other people are so sick of working for somebody else, and they cannot wait to say goodbye to their boss, to throw those fingers up and to just shout out to everybody, I quit, and to get out of there. Whatever is your passion, whatever is your motivator, you have to be motivated. You have to feel truly motivated in order to be an entrepreneur, because the path is difficult and it takes time. Number two, save your money. You have to, when starting up a business, have some kind of nest egg. Even if it's a few $100s, you have to have some kind of nest egg to get going with from the beginning, because there will be things that you need to get done, that you need to get taken care of in order to express your business out into the world, in order to market it, to share it, to let people know you're there. And there are very, very grassroots ways of getting information out. Now, thanks to social media, it's very easy to get information out to other people, creative ways to get that done. But there are certain things that definitely will require some kind of money. So your best bet is to save as much as possible, and also save so that while your business is floating along, while it's chugging along and it's climbing its way up, that you have that little nest egg, you have a little extra put aside so that you have stuff to cover bills, or cover, the transmission breaks down, or the rent is due, and that you have enough to take care of those things, and that you don't have to suddenly take money that was meant to sink back into your business to cover your life. So try and save as much as possible. Number three, learn how to sell. Learn how to sell what it is that you are offering, or what are you serving other people with. Learn how to let people know it's there. One of my issues that I used to have was that even though the things that I created were wonderful and beautiful and fantastic, and everybody loved my work, I couldn't talk about my work. I couldn't find my voice to just let people know that I had it. So I lost so many business opportunities just by not being able to say, hey, I have a graphic design business. I'm actually pretty good at it. I have a wealth of information, and I will be able to serve your entire business by what I do, by the experiences that I have, and by the training that I've had in college. I can do that for you. I wouldn't even speak up. So people would be talking about their businesses to me, and I just wouldn't even say anything. You have to learn how to sell. You have to learn how to sell. And because I had such an issue with capitalism and with the money system, I didn't want to be capitalistic and feel like I was hawking over people and trying to, pound my business down their throat or tell them. But I actually have something that's fantastic, that I'm offering to others. Why would you not tell people? You have to know what it is you have, and just how to let people know that it's there. It doesn't have to be mass marketing to everybody. It doesn't have to be bragging to everybody. Let people know what your gift is. Find a way to do that. You have to research, and you have to learn your market very quickly. You have to figure out what it is that you're creating. What are you serving people with, and who is it for? Do you want to sell crocheting magazines to older women who are retired and they like to make, booties for their grandchildren, knit booties or something? Or did you want to sell sports car paint to guys so that, on the weekends they can jazz up their vehicles and turn them into something that, they're proud to drive down the street? Whatever it is, you have to know who you're selling to. Who is your market? Understand those people and what those people like, how they want to connect with you. Then you've got to get contacts, and that means like everywhere. Build your network. You can run into someone in the grocery store who's like, oh man, yeah, my car, I had a little fender bender and I just need some kind of paint. Oh, hey, you know what? I sell paint. Lamborghini red. Hey, I'll get, here's my information. Go on, right on my website. You can order a sample, get it to your house, and then, hey, I even have a team of people who can come out there and do that for you for an extra charge. Let people know. Build that network. Let people know that you exist, that you're out there, that you have a service that you're excited about and that you're proud of. And besides just building up your network so that you can collect emails and let people know about your services that you have coming up, build your audience. You have to get a social media presence and build your audience. You have to let people know who you are, what you're about, and what you do. And one of the most important things that you can do that I completely did not know and took years of beatings as an entrepreneur, making loads of mistakes. All those mistakes are wonderful now because now I can look back on them and I can use them as wisdom. But at the time, some of them were very expensive mistakes. They were frustrating mistakes. And some of the mistakes I made actually caused me to give up on the businesses I had and quit. And I'm going to speak about that in just the very next slide. Get a mentor. Get somebody, whether it's somebody who's like just down the street, who does a business that you want, somebody in your family, or somebody who you pay to actually guide you through the process of your business startup. They will save you. Investing in a mentor will save you so much time and so much energy and mistakes and so much cost that it will be so worth it. It's such a big difference to have somebody who is able to guide you each step of the way and explain the process so that you don't have to bump and fall and figure things out as you go along. You can make a straight path from where you are now into the life that you want to be in. So here's what I was just saying. This is number one on the what not to do list. What is the first thing that I just said? Don't give up. Don't give up. If that is your vision, if you have a vision inside you that you do not want to work for anybody else ever again, and you want to serve and give people the best of you, who you are, and be able to be compensated for that service you're offering, that product you're offering, don't give up. If that's who you feel called to be, then that's who you're supposed to be. So don't give up. There are always ways. It's a learning curve. Entrepreneurship is a really hard path, but it's a learning curve. You get all the things that you're learning, all of those things will eventually build up into something if you just keep going. You will get there if you just keep going. And what not to do, do not listen to other people who are at your current level of life or existence. Do not listen to people who are at your current level of economics to tell you how to be wealthy. Do not listen to people who are at your current type of job to tell you how to be an entrepreneur. Don't listen to other people, because a lot of times it's not even just about people are hating on you and they don't want to see you do well. A lot of times people are think they're saving you from yourself. They can't see your vision, so they don't want you to end up hurting yourself, failing, wasting time, embarrassing yourself, or any of those things. So they're trying. A lot of time people are trying to save you from yourself. Don't listen. If you have something inside you that's telling you to go for that, you need to follow your heart and you need to go for it. And you will learn in the process. As I said, work as though you cannot fail, because each time you don't get it right is another way explaining how to actually get the job done the way that you want it to be done. So all you have to do is continue. Every way is not the way, and every way is not the path or the right timing, but that doesn't mean what you're doing is not the right thing for you or for your life. Don't, and absolutely do not do everything on your own. Do not do everything on your own. There is too much technology and there are too many connections in the world today for you to just think that you need to go out and do a class in web design and learn how to design websites all by yourself, and then go out and learn to do a class in Facebook marketing and learn how to do all the marketing yourself, and then go out and do a class in, no. Totally unnecessary. There's access to too many people who can help you on the different areas. You don't have to learn how to be a phone receptionist or pick up a certain type of phone, or learn how to build a website, or learn how to design a flyer, or learn how to use Photoshop. You don't have to learn all those things. There are people out there for that. Everybody, that's why you need that nest egg, as I was saying before about saving. Get that nest egg together. That way you have something so that you can trade people for their time and resources, so that you can have them help you build your vision. The time you waste trying to do everything and learn everything so you could do it all by yourself is time taking away from your actual creation of your product or your development of your service. That's what you need to focus on. Allow people to help you with the rest. Do not, here's another one. This is a huge reason that businesses fail. Do not sell or offer products or services that only you like. Do not find something that is just unique to you or to a very small group of you and a few people that you know, and expect that that's going to blow up into some kind of livable income for you and your family just off that one thing, off that small niche. You're going to need something that appeals to a large enough number of people that those people are going to be able to connect and tell their friends about it and tell their friends about it, and who will all want that. And so that you can get a sustainable living off of whatever it is that you build or offer. Don't sell things only you like. And also, big one too, do not try to grow too big too fast. Sometimes right up at the beginning, the way some people have like the great timing, all of the right things, and their business hits right from the beginning, and they get fooled into thinking, oh wow, everything hit, this is great, I'm onto something here, I'm blowing up. Or like those when we go on the YouTube and see these people who have these great business ideas, and look at them and they're like, 3 months ago I was living at my mom's house and it's 6 months later and I drive a Lamborghini and look at me now. Don't think that just because you succeed right from the beginning that it's a steady path and it's just going to be one sharp incline going all the way up. Business, entrepreneur life does not run like that. There will be ups and there will be downs. When you're doing well, make sure you take out as much as possible and put aside as much as possible. Develop for expansion. But don't say, oh, all of a sudden, don't go out crazy balling, and now it's time for me to buy the route where everybody in the club drinks, and I'm going to get that new car I always wanted right away. Pace yourself through business. Make slow moves, make slow and steady moves, no matter how it looks, so that the more slow and steady you move with your business decisions, the better it will be for you, because instead of having those great rises and like crashing, hit the rocks falls, you will be able to steady out, and your growth will end up slowly but steadily continuing to go up over the course of your business life. So really important factor here about getting started, really important, is getting a graphic designer. And that's where I come in. And that's why I'm even sharing these ideas with you, because as soon as you have gotten that self-assessment and you figured out what you wanted to do and you have a vision of what it is you want to do, the very next person in your process is going to be your graphic designer. So the graphic designer is the person who helps you get your logo. You may not have an idea at all for a logo, and so the graphic designer will help you create one, or you may have an idea for a logo, and then your graphic designer can help you take that logo into a really sharp and attractive, beautiful, polished logo, and expand your company branding so that you have your website, your logo, your Facebook page, your Instagram cover, all of those things that's all your branding. So everything is cohesive and coherent. It all looks good together. It all looks sharp and polished. And when people go look at it, they're immediately attracted by what they see. Your graphic designer is going to get your advertising media. They're going to be the ones who make your business cards, get your flyers and things like that. And then most importantly, absolutely key factor here, very key, is your website. Your graphic designer is going to be the person who gets your website. The website is your store. It's your receptionist. That's your sales team. So it's incredibly important to have that. Your online presence is the one who's representing you when people aren't talking directly to you face to face. Your website is the thing that is selling you and representing you. And also it's the place where people are actually making the purchase or booking your event or your service. So they need to be able to do all of that right there without you. If you have a business where you have to personally, face-to-face interact with every single person who is going to get a service from you, your business will never expand to a level that will be sustainable for you over your life or to provide for your family. You need to be able to expand, and that requires you to have something there that's selling your work for you while you're not there. And then also social media marketing, also very key. You have to keep an online presence. So you want, again, your graphic designer who gets your company branding, you want to get them branding your social media also, and then you have that presence there, whether it's your personal page and you're branding yourself as your own service, or whether you are getting your business page done, and people know how to go on the business page. They can contact you, they can see who you are, they can connect with other people who've used your service and feel whether that's something that they need and want for themselves. So super incredibly important there, having that. So that's it. We've come to the end here. And I just wanted to tell all of you again, thank you so much for being here. Let me slide this back on over so you can see my logo there. And just remember, so I am Anansi Web Design and Graphics. That is my company. I have had this company for 7 years now. It had another name before. It had another name. Actually, no, it's been this name for the last 4 years, and it had another name for that, for the 3 years before that. My name is Raven, and all of my information is here. I've got it listed here, so I'm going to leave this page up for you. And once again, so in the comments, I would like any of you to just let me know what you think, about this whole concept about going into business for yourself, about whether that's something that you're excited about, whether that's something that you've been toying with the idea, whether that's something you feel is you've seen other people do it and you're kind of curious. And what stage are you at? Let me know what stage you're at and how you're doing, and whether you are interested in going forward with anything. So for anybody who is interested in going forward with any kind of, you have a vision and you feel ready to work, definitely reach out to me. You can reach out to me by phone. You can text or call this number, 213-262-6742. Or you can reach out to me, AnansiWebDesign@gmail.com. Or you can go to my website and you can also check out, I have samples of my work right there on my website, and you can have a look at the things that I do. And then also, aside from actually reaching out and needing graphics work, if you have any further questions about what is the process like, what does it feel like to be an entrepreneur, absolutely feel free to hit me up. If you go to my Facebook page, Anansi Web Design, where you may have connected to the link for this webinar, you can inbox me there and send me a message and ask, any questions. I love serving people in this. This is a real passion of mine. And I absolutely feel that it is vital that we start to crumble the economic system that currently is here, because it's destroying our humanity. And we need to erase that system and put a new system in place. And the new system that's in place is each of us taking care of each other. Each of us taking care of each other in a community. So when we have gifts or we have products, we have services, and we can go directly connected to each other and serve with what we have and be served by others with what they have, we don't have to have a middleman. We don't have to have this corporate economy breathing down our necks and keeping us in this wage slavery that the current system is. We don't have to do that anymore. So this is a really big deal to me on an individual level, about being able to reach you all and serve you all singly. And this is such a big deal to me on a worldwide and global scale, on a big picture level, about being able to do this. This is really, really incredible. And I'm so grateful that I am able to be that cornerstone at the beginning of people's process. So when people go from vision and then go and start to take that vision into a reality, I'm the person who's there at that point to be able to reach out and serve them. So thank you all for allowing me to, share my gifts with you all today. And I'm excited. I hope that I'm able to serve you all and to share some gifts with you. So I appreciate you for being here.